I'm Jaime Ocon, and here's what happened this week. The biggest story from the past 7 days is the earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria on Monday. The 72-hour window for finding survivors in the two countries has closed. The death toll has passed 20,000, and attention is turning to the survivors of the disaster. Humanitarian efforts to help the people displaced by the quake are ramping up. Sally Jensen has a story.
90 hours. That's how long 10-year-old Hilal was trapped under rubble. Rescuers had to amputate her arm to free her. Removing the block crushing her would have put her in more danger. Hilal was one of the lucky ones who survived Monday's earthquake. The magnitude 7.8 tremor has devastated parts of Turkey and Syria, killing over 20,000 people. This number is likely to rise. Rescue workers from the region and beyond have been working round the clock. Braving sub-zero temperatures, they hope to save as many lives as possible. A day earlier, this baby was saved from the verge of death. But for many families, it is already too late. The chance of finding people alive in the rubble has faded. This is the deadliest quake since the magnitude 7 tremor that hit Haiti in 2010, that killed over 100,000. Tens of thousands of survivors have been evacuated. Across Turkey and Syria, many are taking refuge from the bitter cold in makeshift shelters. The focus is now shifting to help these displaced families. Countries from all over the world have been sending aid and rescue teams. On Thursday, the first of 6 trucks of aid from the United Nations arrived in Syria.
We need the cross-border resolution to continue, and we need the cross-border assistance to continue in these very early days, because if we do not, every day, every moment, we're losing more and more people.
Teams from Taiwan have also been helping the rescue effort. The international community and the World Bank have offered billions of dollars in emergency assistance for what the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has called the disaster of the century. And while the world mourns for Turkey and Syria, the focus is now on helping those who made it out alive. Asnaya Joe and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
The destruction in Turkey has also raised concerns about earthquake-prone Taiwan. The government says almost 100,000 buildings in Taipei City are structurally unsound, and many people are now asking whether the process of renovating old buildings is too complex. Sally Jensen has more.
There are almost 230,000 buildings in Taipei City, and around 90% of these are over 30 years old. That percentage is increasing. The city's government says that 98,000 of these older buildings are unstable. If a large earthquake were to strike Taipei, Taiwan's Interior Ministry says about 4,000 buildings could collapse. This could affect a large portion of the city's population. The prospect has many locals worried.
住了40多年了，地板有一点裂了，对不对？如果是在大地震的话，一定会垮掉了，当然是会怕。
Taiwan is no stranger to destructive earthquakes, and the country's buildings have taken a beating in the past. 50,000 toppled in the Gigi earthquake of 1999. That quake killed 2,400 people. Reconstruction of Taipei's buildings has been slow. One reason is that this kind of work needs the approval of all the owners of property in a building. That's kept many buildings from getting the necessary repairs.
当然我家的更多更老哈，我家已经60年了，可是我们那里已经说了3、4次，只有2位，40几户只有2户不要就不行了。
The Building Administration Office says it's trying to speed up the process of renovating structurally unsound buildings.
老旧建筑物大概普遍耐震能力都不足了。那对于这个30年以上这种老旧房屋，其实我们是鼓励市民先行做一个耐震能力的评估。
Some advocates say these assessments should be mandatory for old buildings.
台湾其实不光台北市应该要来做一个强制性的全面的建筑的普查。 不是所有的方案都是要透过重建解决，是有些方式只是透过你的整建维护或是结构补强的方式。
Authorities say construction has been slowed by labour shortages and the changing cost of raw materials. Taipei's new mayor Jiang Wan'an promised during his campaign to lower the bar for approving renovations. But with strong earthquakes likely at any moment, many people's lives and homes are at risk until reconstruction work can get off the ground. Damon Lin and Sally Jensen for TaiwanPlus.
Another top story that captivated the world this past week was a suspected Chinese spy balloon that flew over the United States. U.S. fighter jets shot down the balloon over the Atlantic Ocean a week ago, a move that Chinese officials say was a, quote, overreaction. China says the balloon was not a spying device. They say it was a weather balloon that flew off course. Well, for more on this, I spoke to William Kim, a defense consultant with the Marathon Initiative in Washington, D.C. Why did it take this long for the United States to shoot down this balloon?
It took long because officials did not want to down this balloon over a populated area. I mean, this was a very large payload on the balloon. It was size something like 3 buses. You also have to consider, if you're using a missile, like there's debris and stuff from that as well. So they did not judge the kind of the threat of the balloon to be worth the risk that you blow it up. And even over Montana, it's like it's maybe less densely populated, but there's still people. There's still a non-zero chance that it like lands on somebody's house or something like that. So that's really in the short answer why they waited until it was over water before shooting it. Now, once they did decide to shoot it, they actually managed to do it very quickly. I was somewhat surprised by this. This time they used a missile, which clearly got the job done a lot faster. And there's I had some questions about whether these missiles, the missile guidance would work against these balloons. They're not designed for that. They're designed for much faster targets. This is very slow. It can look at like slow countermeasures that aircraft deploy, so chaff flares that they are that they're supposed to not hit. But at least when it comes to this missile, it did take it out.
There are reports that defense officials knew about the balloon since around January 28th. What should the U.S. do to prevent situations like this one from happening again?
The reporting is that the president did not know about this until Wednesday, by which time it would already be over land. And the president did want to shoot it down initially, but then didn't, but was told, about the debris risk and then decided to wait until afterwards. But in terms of why it wasn't like, kind of shot down earlier, I mean, it from a lot of the reporting, this stuff has happened before. It's happened, last year. It's happened under the previous administration, possibly even before that. So it seems that the standard practice is just not to shoot these things down.
That was William Kim, a defense consultant with the Marathon Initiative in Washington, D.C. Back in Taiwan, half of companies with operations here are making contingency plans for a conflict with China. That's according to the latest business climate survey from the American Chamber of Commerce in Taiwan. James Shader has this report.
The American Chamber of Commerce in Taiwan represents members from more than 500 companies from the US, Taiwan, and the world. Its annual business climate survey takes the temperature on company sentiment in Taiwan. 88% of respondents said they would maintain or expand investments in Taiwan over the next year. That's despite Taiwan's exports slowing and heightened cross-strait tensions.
They're comfortable and confident in continuing to stay committed and present in Taiwan. They're clear-eyed that they're facing a more turbulent economic and geopolitical situation than they have in recent times.
China claims Taiwan as part of its territory and has stepped up its military intimidation toward the country in recent years. That's prompted fears businesses could rethink their presence in Taiwan, and those concerns are reflected in the data. The percentage of companies that had been significantly disrupted by increased cross-strait tensions rose from 17% in August to 33% in December. A third of companies reported disruption because of elevated concern or policy changes from global headquarters. To reduce future upheaval, nearly half of companies are revising business continuity plans, 18% are expanding to additional locations outside Taiwan, and 6% are relocating operations elsewhere. But analysts say Taiwan isn't just a victim of geopolitical currents, and can benefit from concern in the West over operating in China by leveraging its critical position in global supply chains.
To the extent that there is a disengagement by U.S. companies or by Western companies with China, Taiwan companies still are an important linchpin in managing that exodus. So as far as the Taiwan companies go, I think they still remain quite competitive.
But the report made clear Taiwan has work to do. As for factors that deterred companies from expanding in Taiwan, 66% said political uncertainty, 55% said bureaucracy, 43% said market stagnation, and 42% said difficulties finding skilled labour. AmCham says they'll raise these issues with Taiwan's government.
Streamlining of regulations. Taiwan not only needs to improve its competitiveness internally, but it has to keep up with the competition. And other markets are setting the pace that Taiwan isn't keeping with.
Confidence, not complacency. That was AmCham's message for Taiwan's businesses in the year ahead. Headwinds are there, exports are slowing, and geopolitical risks are growing. But right now, there's no sign of a business exodus from Taiwan. Damon Lin and James Chater for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's top pandemic response task force is preparing to ease the country's indoor mask mandate.
因为疫情可控，那我们也要逐渐迈向这个正常的生活。在这样的政策方向之下，那我们就宣布这个第二阶段的口罩的这个松绑措施。那如果疫情稳定的情况之下，我们从2月20号，那会实施这个口罩这个通案性的规定。
Starting February 20th, masks will only be required on public transport and in hospitals. Masks are still recommended at crowded venues, but not mandatory. People with respiratory conditions and senior citizens are also encouraged to keep their masks on. Regulations for schools will be discussed when the winter break ends in early March. Taiwanese scientists have taken inspiration from nature to create improved drone technology. These drones use algorithms based on the nervous systems of fruit flies to avoid crashing into objects. Sam Robbins has more.
This might look like a normal drone, but the technology used to fly it is unique. Scientists at Taiwan's National Tsinghua University have unveiled a new chip for drones like this one. They say it allows the devices to detect objects and avoid crashes. The technology is based on bug brains, and it might help drones flee from trouble.
这么小的果蝇也好，蚊子也好，事实上它们的飞行都非常的顺利。好，那你也很难看到果蝇没事会撞到墙上面去。所以它的避障肯定是非常值得我们学习的。
This is a model of a fruit fly's brain. The red parts send visual information to the center where it's processed. This creates an image like the one on the right here. For a bug, things aren't always so clear. But the scientists say that even such low-resolution views can provide crucial insights.
比较远的物体动得比较慢，近的物体动得比较快。所以说，像果蝇这种，他们就是看视野中哪些地方动得特别快，那个就是对它比较近。所以我们的演算法基本上也是依照这个原理。
The goal is not only to make drones more aware of their surroundings. The scientists say their tech can also cut costs and increase energy efficiency. They hope this technology can help drones used in rescue missions during disasters and in agriculture. It's a reminder that these bugs are worth a second look. They might just hold the key to a future technological breakthrough. Eason Chen and Sam Robbins for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching. Here's what happened. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we have something that will light up your day. This is the Taiwan Lantern Festival, which is underway in Taipei through February 19th. It's been 23 years since it was last held in the capital city. I'm Jaime Ocon. Take care and see you next week.